Aloha, it's Young Han Hawaiian, KPRP 650 AM. Make sure to check out my friend Quantae Love on this new feature film, Popolo. Aloha, it's late nights for Young Han Hawaiian, KPRP 650 AM. We're broadcasting statewide and we're live stream global on KPRPAM650.com. Okay, so we have a very, very special show tonight. I am with the director and lead actor / writer of the feature film Popolo. So put your hands together for Natasha and Quantae Love. Thank you for coming to the show. Sorry about that. I'm putting his headphones on now. We had technical difficulties.
Too funny.
So what's going on, brothers? Okay, so I don't even know where to start. Let's just start with, how did this start with you two? How did you two meet?
You want to take it?
Well, we met at Tag Theater, which is an amazing theater in Waikiki, and I was playing the lead in King Henley II, and Edo was the assistant director. And one day, he told me his idea about being an American filmmaker and how he wanted to. He joined the military to be this filmmaker. That's how it all started, from his story of telling me he wanted to be an American filmmaker. And I had just left LA, because I moved to LA in '92, so that's what I do. And I heard his story, and it was like, we gotta help.
And I just come
brother.
back from Afghanistan too.
Wow.
I just got back from deployment on the Christmas day, and then after that, January is when the King Henley II start rehearsal, and I was like, yeah, can I be assistant director? And then that's how.
Wow. You know what's crazy? And you have military experience yourself, correct?
Mm-hmm. I did 5 years.
You know what's crazy too is because you guys, you're really good looking guys, so you wouldn't know. Because you guys don't look like the type to maybe have to do that kind of stuff. You guys look like you could have been like models or something at that point.
Hardly straight from the hood. I come straight from the hood.
It's all good. It's all good. So, okay, so let's talk a little bit about the film. For some of our listeners are tuning in right now that might have seen the trailer or might have heard about it but don't know the whole thing. What can we reveal about the film? Because we haven't released it yet.
Well, Popolo is pretty much a seasoned special forces just coming back from Afghanistan.
Okay.
And he tried to fulfill his best friend's dream to open an MMA gym.
Oh, wow.
And he has this, because he never been to Hawaii, he has this idea that Hawaii is beautiful paradise, everything is beautiful. But then turns out that he ended up in the
hood.
Well, maybe
In the
because
ghetto?
his friend bought a house off of Craigslist.
Yeah.
When they were in Afghanistan, he
All
buys this house off of Craigslist, and the picture of the house is right by the beach, pristine beaches and water, and so the guy think he has a deal.
Sure.
But he doesn't.
He doesn't, yes.
And we don't find this out until the main character actually comes to Hawaii, and then he sees the house, and he's like, "Damn, Brian,
That's my place?
Yeah.
That's where I gotta live?
this is paradise." Yeah, so that's where everything starts.
That's where everything starts, and then he,
Wow.
of course, get involved with the things that you should not get involved because of his character, his righteousness, in a sense.
Sure. You know, what's interesting, Bianca was telling me that that the film, what's the word? Sorry, I'm like drawing up a blank. She had told me that she had did a training session or had done a theater thing with you. That's how you had originally approached her about the whole thing. How did that work out?
I met Bianca because she was also a co-lead in the play, and her and I had extensive scenes together, and she was telling me her story about being an actress, and she just got to Hawaii, and she's teaching, and I was telling her about our project.
Okay.
I was telling her, I said, we're shooting this film, and we just wrote this film, and you should come check it out, and I gave her the script, and she looked at it. But see, Bianca was skeptical like everyone else, because no one knew Edo and I.
Sure.
We're not from Hawaii,
Sure.
and then we're coming in saying, hey, we're going to shoot this film, and we need everybody to help us out, and you have to prove yourself first.
Oh, sure.
And so Bianca was looking at us like, well, I'll just act. But she was doing all this production stuff. She was doing all this, helping us with every little detail, but she didn't want to be a part of it.
Wow.
Because, a lot of people, they have to watch you first, and you have to check your merit and really see.
Well, especially, I think that when you go to somewhere that's new to you, or that you're not necessarily from there, naturally the locals are going to be like, what's up with this guy?
Exactly.
But at the same time, the nature of making film, as you know, because I know that you worked in LA before, is that it's not very uncommon for a production to come from outside of town come in and then do something really big and bugged out where you kind of give other people opportunities as well. So I think that you guys fit that category well.
We want to compete with Hollywood.
Sure.
We want to show that, I mean, Hollywood comes to Hawaii and they use this place and then they use the beaches and the beauty, and then they leave, but they don't leave a infrastructure for the locals or the independent filmmakers
Sure.
to thrive off of.
Sure.
They come and they bring all of their main components for the film and then they leave. And so then now what are we doing here as the locals? You know, we don't have that.
Right.
That structure to build off, so we have to build on our own. And this is where we come in. It's like there's enough talent here, just as beautiful as the scenery, the people, and the talent.
Sure.
Just go watch any theater. You got what, 8 theaters around, or 12 theaters? Go pick any theater and watch the talent. And most of the people that impressed me the most, I saw them in a theater, and I'm like, you know what? They're gonna be in the movie,
Yep.
and that person's gonna be in the movie.
A lot of our talents actually, I think half of it, or 3/4 of it's coming from theater.
Right.
Theater community.
Yeah.
And okay, so Bianca told me this, and I wasn't sure if it's true, but is it true you guys use 100% local talent to be in the film?
Cool.
Yes. The only
Wow.
one that is not
Come on,
local
I know.
is pretty much us.
Yeah, we're the only ones that are local, basically.
You know, as far as I'm concerned, when you do a movie that dedicates to the lifestyle and culture of Hawaii, you're definitely putting your bid to be Kama'aina along with the rest of us. As far as I'm concerned, you're doing a community service when you do those kind of things. You know.
It's the same community that I grew up in. It's the same. I walk around here in some of the so-called hood. The people are exactly the same as
Right.
when I grew up. The same attitudes, the same swagger. It's the same. And the same, if you come into our neighborhood, you better be bringing something in. Don't just come and take from us and
With an
take
empty
from us.
hand, right.
You better come in here,
And bring something.
bring something, and
Right.
bring something of value to us, so our
Sure.
neighborhood will look good, and you know just come stealing from us.
Right.
And this was our main thing. We have to make sure that we highlight behind the scenes of the island, the real people,
Mm-hmm.
the local people, that when you hear them speak, or when you see their houses, or see the way we set it up, it's really real.
Right.
Yeah.
That actor. He goes, "Oh, Popolo, you're not gonna go do this." That he drops right into the pigeon accent. That one part right before you go and start going Bruce Lee on everybody, and
Tony,
like
is
you're
that
telling
Tony?
him, "Watch after Donnie," and then he closes
Oh,
his
yeah,
fist
yeah,
all
yeah,
Bruce
yeah,
Lee
yeah,
like, and
yeah,
he goes
yeah,
after him. Like I saw that part on the trailer. I'm like, wow, you can't fake that accent. You really cannot. Like you know that guy's really from here. Or if you've never been to Hawaii before, you're like, oh wow, so that's how dudes do it over there. I had no idea. You know what I mean?
That's the whole purpose.
Mhm.
And every character or every actor, they brought their own personality. We didn't tell anyone how to act.
Wow.
We said, look, these are the lines, make the lines you, but keep it within the context and make them you. And that's why you get the pigeon, that's why you get everyone doing their local stuff, they're doing their own thing.
But it feels real. The thing is, I think I've seen some doozies of films, as we all do, at points in another. But you can tell when someone's not being genuine. I mean, I have a theater background, so
Oh, is that
like,
right?
yeah. So that's why, like, when I heard about that film you did with Lillian Jones recently over at UH, that was the first theater play I'd seen in a long time. But it brings me back because you know the beauty about theater actors that are so different from film actors, especially if they've never had a chance to do what we do, is all about perfection. Because you're live and in front of an audience, you have to get it right the first time,
There
or
you go.
fix it the best you can. And you know, it's a trade-off because when you're in film, you can do it a million times until you get it right. But the beauty is that usually theater actors just want to get on the first take, if possible. So you know, I can kind of, I sensed that perfection about you when I first met you, and when I was watching you, when I'm watching the trailer and whatnot, I get the vibe that you don't take very many takes to deliver your lines. I don't know why, but maybe it's because I'm your biggest fan from that from the theater play.
I could say something about that.
Okay.
Q always limit himself to 2 takes. That's that's his goal.
Wow.
And to be honest, it's more than 2 takes, but it's a lot of it. It's probably not because of the acting. A lot of it is because with
The
film,
the
right?
song,
Yeah, the camera when everything gotta be perfect in a sense. It's almost
Exactly.
like 3 components have to move together at the same time.
Sure.
So there's gonna be like you know, sometimes we have like a first take and it was great, you know, that's it, move on.
Right,
And then
right.
there are a couple times where like the camera movement is kind of complicated, and with the limited resources that we have, and we try to hide the C-stand or
Right.
whatever we try to hide, and then somebody, you know, like lose a balance, and then like
Right.
and then we have to do it again.
I mean,
But,
I,
yeah.
You know, I have a limited experience in the film industry. I used to be a production assistant for Hawaii Five-0. So, you know, when you're trying to keep it quiet on location, on the set, wherever you are, and you have like that one dog bark, like right in the middle of like a crying scene, or you hear that, yeah, cuckoo, like some crazy stuff, and like the PAs are all looking like, oh my god.
We actually have
The
that.
sound man is like gonna rip his hair out because it's like the third or fourth time this has happened. So I feel your pain. I can imagine.
Oh yeah, can you remember, right? Like everything, like it's like the scene the easiest is the hardest we get, and
Takes
the
the
reason is
longest,
because and the reason is because of that. Like
Some
every time
random
something
sound.
something happened, and we're like, come on, man, we just need to say, you know,
Plane flying over it.
where is he? You know, like it's that line.
No, I got you. I got you.
So yeah.
That's real. Oh my god. So let me ask this, because I'm very, very curious, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of new fans that, if you haven't seen the trailer yet, by the way, go onto Facebook.com and check out Popolo. That is Popolo. That's right, right?
The official trailer.
I can spell.
That's
So-
right. Popolo
Popolo
official
film.
trailer.
Right?
Official
Trailer.
trailer.
That's on YouTube, right?
Right, YouTube.
Popolo
You-
film. On a YouTube, you can just put Popolo official trailer Hawaii. Make sure you put the Hawaii, because when I Google it, they always get
Sure.
the first that come up is Italy for some reason.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe there's a place called. I had no idea. So if you get a chance, go on to Facebook.com and check out the Popolo official fan page, and you can see a trailer and watch Mr. Quantae do his thing. You know, it's funny because I was at the rap party with you guys, where I first originally met you guys,
Right.
and there's just one part where it was like a blooper and like you're in the shot. It was so hilarious.
I know you're in the shot. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god, I was looking at him and he's just chilling. I was surprised.
I don't know, because like I was looking at the monitor, so that's where they put the
Ah,
monitor at,
yeah,
and
yeah.
like I'm just like, you know, the thing is like if I watch a performance, like I block myself, like I just look at that person and I don't even
Notice.
pay attention of like anything else. So that's
I
when
gotcha.
you know when they're calling out, even I was still blank at that time, and then like, oh yeah, I am in the shot. And, I have to move in.
You know, here's how I look at it though. If anybody's gonna be walking in the shop by accident, why not be the director?
Okay, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's your vision. Like, what's anyone gonna say?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna turn and be like, look, my chair, my name on it, just so you know. You're a PA and I'm a director.
Good
So-
one.
Not that I don't think you're like that. You guys are upstanding gentlemen. I couldn't imagine you being mean. But okay, so here's like a real question I want to ask though, because I know there's a lot of new fans that are really excited about this. How long was the training for conditioning and stuff for the actors and the stunt guys and to get the fight scenes going? Because from what I understand, there's quite a few fight scenes in here. And it's real. It's all military, all real, reality-based fighting.
Yeah, I mean, like from the beginning, I already told my fighting choreographers and the actors, like, let's not make it like in the 70s and 80s, where it's more like a dance rather than a fight. And I guess I'm from Indonesia, and like the raid, you know, like if you watch the movie The Raid and The Raid 2,
The Raid 2,
and,
okay.
and it's very
High five. Let's just go there.
yeah, it's
Alright.
very
Good
cutthroat.
films.
You know, it's cutthroat. The fight is trying to finish it as much as he can. You know,
Sure.
the reason it's long is because both of them are good. It's not because the
Because
show
it's a ridiculous
demands it.
Right,
The
right,
show
but it's rather
demands it.
because their talent demands
yeah,
it.
yeah. And
Sure.
and I told them, I told my actors and fighting choreographers to come up with that. So
Wow.
when did we start training you?
Wait, do we include Popolo training? The Popolo workout?
Well, I guess. I mean, it's conditioning, right? We're
Oh,
talking
wow.
about conditioning. Are we
Right,
talking,
right,
or are we
yeah.
talking about the fighting choreography?
Well, the conditioning first.
I was training from Jumpstart for like a year and a half anyway, because I had already known we were gonna do a action film, so
Okay.
training began for me a long time ago.
So that way it would just be kind of like, oh, this is what I do
A
anyways.
walk in the park.
Yeah.
And that's why we did
Good
all those
transition.
plays beforehand. A walk in the park. But the other actors, as we found the actor, they began training.
They began training.
Wow.
As we found the actor and we found out what role they were going to play, they began training immediately.
Amazing.
Mhm.
Immediately, yeah.
Casting was like what, September? Right? No. It's before that.
Before then.
August, I think.
Like in August,
Yeah. And then they
like
started-
3 months then.
Yeah, 3 months pretty much.
Like
yeah.
3 months of training.
Wow. Oh, you know that's a decent amount of time. Did you have to like teach anybody from scratch? Was there anybody that came on and was like, oh.
Everyone's prior military.
Wow.
Everybody's on this film.
Most of the guys.
Most of the guys, all the military guys from the military, everything shot in the military are military guys. All military guys.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That's make it easier, way easier, because like.
Because you already know procedure. And
They already
Well,
know.
yeah, and then like how you carry a gun, a lot of things that are taken for granted.
Oh, sure. Oh yeah, you know when you actually pay attention, there is certain ways that everybody who's been trained, that they carry themselves in a certain way. It's like uniform,
Yes.
no matter like where you come from.
Exactly.
Very
That
interesting.
helped a lot more. And then on the island, I mean, this island is filled with martial artists. You have more martial artists on this island by square mile than anywhere in the world.
That's true.
Anywhere in the world. So you have more martial artists and different type of martial artists here. So it's not going to be hard to find someone to do basic moves.
Right,
Everyone
right.
was good enough. I mean, everyone knew a little something,
Right.
which helped out tremendously.
It was just more a matter of working on the choreography so no one hurts
Oh,
each
yeah.
other intentionally.
The choreography. And most of the choreography was like, I did most of the fighting.
Yeah, well, I mean, since you're the one, and then military scenes, and then that club.
Our
scene,
stunt guys were cool.
And then the
We had
Yakuzas.
the Yakuzas.
The
I mean,
Yakuzas.
the stunt guys that we had were these amazing.
Yeah.
We were looking for someone like you, right? That's when I saw him. I was like, dude, how come he's not in the movie? Because look how he's built. We put out a casting, and this is what we were looking for.
Wow.
We got a bit of a smaller frame,
Right.
guys.
Well, it's funny because like in the beginning, because like I was thinking about like having a mix because I know how to say this, like the American perspective about how Yakuza is supposed to look like.
Right.
Is your type of size and the bigger Asian dude. What,
Sure.
Like I'm growing up in Indonesia and I watch Japanese movies, and we as a people like like. This is the frame.
Yeah, it's a slender frame. No,
I was
of course.
considered big, in
Sure.
back in Indonesia.
And I was like, yo, what? This is big? He was,
I know.
yeah.
No, I know. Yeah, no, and I completely, like I
Different
I-
region.
and it's a different region. But then, like when we have the conversation, one thing that we have in mind, like making sure that when you watch the film, you cannot help it not to think that this is not American film. Like,
Right.
It's directed by somebody else coming from.
You should feel like an
It's
international
yeah,
feel
it's a
to it.
foreign. It's a
Right.
foreign directed movie in a sense.
The only thing American about it is the lead character. And a lot of people because you had a black guy as the lead, they automatically say, oh, this is a black film. This is a black American. And they disregard everything else because of the image of the black guy. And I'm like, yo, this film has nothing to do with America. The director's not even American. The way he edits, the way he cuts it, the way he thinks, he doesn't think like an American.
Right.
We just throw people off with putting my face up there, and it's like, we already know what it's gonna be like. I'm like, guys, you have no idea what this
Right.
film is gonna be like.
Oh yeah, and then like we have like I have a lot of having a hard time sometimes conveying ideas to people because they were like that's like that's weird and
Because we don't think like that in America. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, what are you trying to say? He goes, what this? I'm like,
yeah, but that's not how it works. But then like when I start splicing it, like
Sure.
this is what I was thinking, and
Right.
people are like, oh, and
Now I
and
see the
yeah,
picture.
yeah.
I got you.
And
oh yeah,
and
big difference, man.
Big difference, like
Big difference.
Like I think one of the most interesting, and I felt like hopefully with the budget we have, we actually able to capture that.
Sure.
I found like American movies, the way they capture fighting is like born identity. It's
Right.
exciting, a lot of shakiness, but you have no idea what's going on. In a sense, like you kind of get a clue, but you don't
Batman
really...
Begins. I just threw that out there.
Yeah.
Hey, on that note, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go and visit our sponsors. We'll be right back. Aloha. I had to throw that in there. Oh my God. That's true though.
So how come you guys don't record each? How do you record the stream too and have like a live video? and
Well,
promote
it was
that?
originally designed to only do live stream, and I imagine that to do the extra stuff isn't
We did it
totally
for a
not
month.
possible. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what happened.
Really?
When I
Even
got
for us to do the live stream, it was
the pricing too. That was
so. But yeah, we used to record it.
What about for your own archive? Now, does this belong to you or belong to the station? So if you
Or
record it,
amongst us, anything that we do is ours. We just have we rep the company to do it well. Wait, we're back on.
okay.
Aloha, it's late nights for Young Han Hawaii on KPRP 650 AM. We're broadcasting statewide and we're live stream global on KPRP AM650.com. Okay, so it is the official Popolo feature film show. I am sitting with the director and the star of the film, Natasha and Quantae Love. All right, so we were going over talking about the difference between the way American filmmakers present their projects
Yes.
versus the way that an international filmmaker make a project. Notice I said international, not Indonesian, because that's exactly, you're worldwide the way you're doing it.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit more about that. So how do you feel? What were you talking about the Americans, their way of doing choreography versus how you guys did for Popolo?
Well, I mean, choreography in the basic. I mean, you cannot change the basic, but I think it's more about the execution. And
Sure.
you mentioned Batman Begins, so let's use that example as a Batman Begins.
Sure.
I mean, you have no idea what's going on with the fights and everything else.
Mhm.
If you look at Hong Kong films, and the reason I choose Hong Kong films is because they're the veterans when it comes to like martial arts.
Well, they invented the action film.
Yeah,
right.
they invented that, and they're really good at it.
Sure.
You know? A lot of American DPs actually kind of like if you want to shoot, and if you want to learn how to make action film, Hong Kong film, that's the case.
Sure.
A lot of it is a wider shot, and a lot of it to make sure that you can see, like, if you are a martial artist, and when you watch that, you can actually learn from it. Like, you're like, oh, okay,
Yes.
I could replicate.
It's like a textbook.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
it's pay that homage in a sense, and that's what we are trying to achieve in a sense. So from the beginning, I'm told my actors and even my crews and like, hey, making sure that that you can see and capture what they are.
But see, we
doing.
got great fight choreographers,
Yes.
Dasu and they're prior military also.
Mhm.
So all of their moves are
Okay.
special forces type moves, that practical moves that you would actually see in a combat situation.
Okay.
And so, and Dasu has his own type of martial arts that he came up with.
Yep. And really, if you see, I think Curtis and your style,
Yeah.
it's original. Like you will not see it anywhere else because he invented it in
Sure.
a sense.
And you're gonna see, well, that's the fight scene at the very end of the movie, the big climax fight scene
Wait, are we just spoiling it?
of what his style is, Dasu's style.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Dasu's
Okay.
style at the end.
Oh okay.
You're gonna get to see his particular style in
Yeah.
that particular fight scene itself.
You know, what's interesting enough is that a lot of people like to talk about Bruce Lee, and they'll talk about characteristics they learn from him, and whether as a fighter, as a filmmaker. But I think that the majority of what reflects what he taught, because he was kind of like the pioneer of modern day action films. Would you agree?
Yeah.
And his whole thing was about being totally original. Like his fighting style, he invented it from scratch.
True.
So it's very rare that you do see like an action, whether it's a choreographer or an actor or what have you, come at it with the original style. Especially one that's very particular, you can actually see the technique.
Well, only because in Hollywood, it's a lot different. The pressures are a lot different. You don't have the liberties that you have in independent films, so where we can say, I have a friend that started his own martial arts, and he's going to do all the choreography.
Right.
Hollywood is going to like, no, I want to see this guy, I want to see his resume, I want to talk to him, I want to see
I
whatever.
want to see proof.
Oh yeah, you just can't walk up there saying I can do this and I'm going to no.
Sure.
Because there's too much money involved. There's too much investment involved. In independent films, the only investment is our own creativity
And the time you put in.
and the time you put in.
Very
You know,
interesting. So how many different martial arts can we see? Because I know with the military alone, that's a mixed martial arts in itself. So are there any like recognized styles that we might be able to catch glimpses of in the movie?
Wing Chun. Well, Art does Wing Chun.
Yes.
I mean, the beauty of these guys is more or less like what you said about Bruce Lee. You just take everything and whatever works. So there's no really style. It's like we're in a situation. That's it.
What felt best for that situation?
What felt best for that situation. And
Okay.
we everyone that has a job has the liberty to be creative with their job. So if you're the fight choreographer, we're going to let you come up with it, and then you teach us and tell us this. We're going to give you the scenario, you're going to read the script for that scene, and then it's up to you to show the world your talent.
Sure.
And then it's up to me to emulate what you are trying to show.
Yeah,
Sure.
and making sure it's consistent with the character, because like if the Yakuza's suddenly doing military move, then it's kind of like
It's
what,
like,
you know?
where did he learn
Yeah.
that?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought you were Japanese.
Yeah.
Where's the
Exactly.
samurai sword?
No,
But
basically.
no, there's actually a sword fight too over there.
Nice. Oh my god, I was already a fan. You're making me a super fan.
We're trying to cover it. We only get one shot. And I keep telling them from jump start, I say, look, Edo, we only gonna have one shot, because when they see this Asian and black clash, that's gonna be like, yo, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
So we only get one shot that keeps people attention, and once we got their attention, we have to show them something. We have to represent. We have to do something, because after this, you stand on your first and final and your last project. This is his first project. He's never done any other thing. He's
Sure.
never done anything. So
Sure.
he's gonna be judged off of this. He's gonna be judged. And I've been in this business since '92, so they're gonna look at this film and like, you know better. Why are you working with first-time people? Why are you taking your career after 20 plus years and say, okay, I'm gonna give it to this first-time guy
Right.
and say, things don't happen like that. But I had a dream, and the dream is like, this is what we're supposed to do. And I'm spiritual. I follow dreams. I follow the voices, and they say, hey, put your career in this guy's hands. I almost had a heart attack, man.
Right.
Yeah.
I just start replaying Hollywood and my reel and everything I've done. I'm supposed to give it to this kid
Right.
who knows nothing. I've been to film school. He hasn't been to film school. I'm like, shit. I mean, shit.
Yeah,
No,
probably.
it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah,
You know,
probably.
you should say that because I know I lived in LA. I didn't get a chance to get into film industry until I got to Hawaii, but I know the pressures of just all you have to do is like stand next to the wrong person, and then you're already being stared at funny.
Yeah, so you build yourself, and then you spend your life building yourself, and then all of a sudden you have to like really trust.
Sure.
If you really trust, you built it up for this moment.
But at the same time, it seems like you're really putting your careers in each other's hands because you're the writer, not just the talent. In fact, there's just one line.
He wrote, wait. We both wrote.
You wrote it together?
We came up with the story. Edo did all the physical writing, but we sat down and we came up with the story,
Nice.
and Edo, yeah.
There's just one part of the dialogue where there is an admission. It's the very beginning in the video where I'm assuming it's the group leader. He says that I want full noise discipline. Now, I'm a civilian, but I understood what he was saying, and I think that's kind of hard to do. When you're trying to use military jargon in a film where people clearly aren't really from the military, just regular people watching this, but we can still understand what's going on. The words that you chose to use, how you chose to write the dialogue. I'm a little bit of a writer myself, so I know it's kind of tricky. It's really tricky because it might sound good in your head, but when it comes out loud, it's like, wow, did I write that?
When someone's saying it, sounds even worse sometimes.
Right.
Well, I mean, for that particular line, actually, you have to give it out to Eli, I believe, because he's the one that looking at it, and he was a first sergeant. He's a retired first sergeant.
Okay.
So when he wrote it, when he read it, and he's like, well, what if we say it like this? Because, like, I know military doesn't say it like that. And
Right.
in the beginning, I was like, well, yeah, but, like, do people who is not from military get it? But then when he mentioned noise discipline, and I'm like, yeah, I think
It transitions well, like we'll be able to understand.
Yeah, I think the audience will
But then the
figure it out.
visual follows it anyway, because
Oh,
everything
right.
was stealth.
Right.
Everything was quiet. So
Right. So you know what's going on. He's just kind of peppering it with the
there you go.
dialogue.
Yeah.
And we're gonna follow it with the visual. So
Okay.
Yeah, and the other thing is like I trust my audience as much as I can in the sense of like I don't.
We know common sense that we know
Yeah,
what the
yeah,
audience
yeah,
together.
yes.
I like
hey
that.
man, the audience
That's
is
what's
not dumb. The
Yeah.
audience is very smart. And if you try and play the audience like they're dumb, your film is gonna look very, very
Yeah, yeah.
amateurish.
We're gonna stare at you sideways.
Yeah, like,
what
dude,
mean,
you think we're
we
that
can keep
dumb?
up?
Yeah, yeah. And that's the worst thing you can do is think your audience is
Yeah.
dumb. You gotta play like your audience is pretty clever.
Sure.
Yeah, not just
Sure.
that. I personally believe audience like to work their meal. Because like
Oh,
I
yeah.
enjoy a movie where I have to
Work for your meal.
Work for my meal in a sense of like no, I mean in a sense of like when I look at it like I'm engaged. I don't know anything, but.
No, I was talking about the slang, dude. Work for their meal.
Oh, hey.
You just don't want to.
English is my second language, man.
I know,
Give me a
it's
break.
cool little slang.
You want to give us something to think about, like food for thought is what you mean. Like something like that, so where it's like it's not so simple to understand. Like you
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
give us, tickle our brains and make us really work.
And he's really good at that. He's very good at these little itty bitty technical things that he'll tell you here, and it'll pick up in the last part of the film or in the middle of the film, and it'll tie everything. Very good at tying up loose ends. That's what you do.
Oh yeah, that's the continuity, right?
Yeah, tying up these loose ends and making it just fit. Make people like, oh, this and this. Oh, wow.
Right,
Oh, yeah,
right.
yeah.
Hey, and on that note, what we're gonna do is we're gonna visit our sponsors, and we'll be right back. Aloha.
Wow.
You know, having a
timing.
radio station is cool, man.
What happened?
Having a radio show is really cool.
Hey, you know, I'm appreciative of it. This is my mentor. She's the one that pretty much got me into this whole thing.
I
I came here as an
interviewed him.
artist. Yeah, I was actually, because I have an album coming out. Actually, I
Oh, you
still
got an
do.
album?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which-
you do everything too.
Well, you got to. You know, when you live in Hawaii, which is why I was gonna. Hopefully, I'm a video. I'm gonna be putting together. I'm gonna be bringing a couple of my friends that from the film, and I'll hopefully get you guys to do a cameo. Pop up and just have like a umbrella drink with my right at the camera.
What kind of music do you do?
I do. It's my style of music is called Hawaii pop. It's hip hop, R&B, and bubblegum pop. all
You have an
wrapped
album,
in
you got
one.
some songs and stuff?
Yeah, I can. We'll play for you afterwards.
Yeah,
That's no
man,
problem.
are you kidding me?
She's executive producer actually. She introduced me to my record engineer and got my career rolling. So that's pretty much how.
So
I got
you
into
have you met my son?
No, she was telling me that he does music.
My son puts his own show on, bro.
Yeah.
What?
He'll rent a venue out and rap his and sell the tickets, and they put a show on and
Yeah.
sing his own music.
I heard he might be doing the soundtrack.
He's supposed to be doing a sound.
Yeah.
He was in the play
The
with us.
song, yeah.
That play that you guys saw?
Who's he?
Him and I had a scene when
The
he came,
soldier.
when he was one of the soldiers, the tall soldier looking for his wife, and his
That
wife
was
died.
him?
That's my son.
Oh wow, he's a good-looking guy.
Oh yeah,
He's a
Wait,
good-looking
you know
guy.
what? It was before I interviewed you.
yeah, but
Okay, you ready? Okay, to 9:15.
Aloha, it's late nights with Young on Hawaii on KPRP 650 AM. We're broadcasting statewide and we're live stream global on KPRP AM650.com. Okay, so this is the official Popolo Power Hour. I am hanging out with the director and the lead of the film, Popolo, Edo Natasha, and Quantae Love. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about you, sir. So, from what I hear from a few different folks that are working within the production, that you already had a background in LA. How did that start?
I got a girl pregnant.
Wow.
Yep.
You know, it's
That's
usually
when I was a young man, I got a young lady pregnant, and it was like, you either going to do the dream or not. And I dropped everything from from Florida, and went straight to LA and began my career in like 1990, 91.
Wow.
And I stayed there the whole time. And my son's life is a chronological order of my career. And now he's at UH doing his own music, and he's about to graduate next December.
Wow. What's your son's name?
Trayvon Love. He was on the show. Trayvon. I have Trayvon and Corey Love, both at UH.
Hey, shout out Trayvon and Corey.
Yeah.
Making dad proud. And dad's gonna make you proud because he's starting his own movie. Can't hurt.
But they were in my first movie.
Really?
I would put my sons in my production. They hated it. I would put them in the production. I'm saying, don't you worry. One thing in life, you're going to be an actor. If you can fall back on something, we're going to have this for later. Don't worry about it. They hated it. But now, they're used to being on stage. They're used to having their own
So they
thing.
get it now.
They get it now, yeah.
So did you start off doing theater first before you got into film?
I
Or was it
no.
the other way around?
I went straight film, trying to do film.
Wow.
The first real theater I did was when I came to the island.
Really?
Yep. That's the first theater.
That must have been kind of a weird transition, though, as you know, because with film you can take a million takes if you want, but at theater's not so much like that.
But I think theater, it's like you get the immediate adrenaline rush. Because doing something live, it's like you become a junkie.
Sure.
People are right there. Film, it takes a long time. Patience, and then when it finally comes out, you know, you're on another project. You're already working on another project, and this one comes out. It's just different. But theater is like, yeah, theater is real.
Well, I found it fascinating, and one thing that I heard from other actors when I'm talking with them, theater, you have the privilege to follow the emotion of the character.
Sure.
While like film, because sometimes we don't do it chronologically, you gotta be in the moment right now. You know,
True.
Cry.
Yep,
Cry right now. Cry.
So I think I think the pressure is different in a sense. I mean I'm not saying that theater acting is easier or
It's more like a trade-off.
It's a trade-off, yeah, in
Sure.
a sense. I mean the pressure is live audience, but
Mhm.
your advantages is you able to ride the journey of that character's emotion, so it's easier for you to get there. And then compared
Okay.
to film, you know, like you said, hey, cry.
Yeah,
right?
sometimes-
All right, everybody's
It's
like,
difficult.
okay, ready.
For new
Everybody's
actors-
watching you and like.
For new actors, it was difficult, and you can watch new actors on the set, and they were up first, and so we're all waiting, and it took a while because they had to warm up, and everyone's staring at me and say, "Oh, Edo, from now on, dude, you just gotta let me go first. Just because it's second nature to me just to do it, right?
Mhm.
So, and that helps people when I do it and I'm not acting. I just want you to be real. Just be you. Just do it how you would really do it. That's
Right.
what I tell the actors with the little boy who steals all the scenes. Caleb,
The boy doesn't need any direction.
Caleb, the cool thing about this little kid, I say, hey, look, man,
Caleb
just
is-
do it like you would regularly do it. Like in your dreams about being an actor, just do whatever you feel come natural. This guy steals every scene.
Is that your protege, the one that you're training in
Yes,
the movie?
the little kid.
Ah,
Amazing, man. Wait till you see this kid.
What's his name?
Caleb.
Caleb.
Caleb Duncan? Is his last name Duncan?
No, his last name was super long. I'm not gonna even.
You're
I'm not
gonna
gonna
mess up
butcher
the
his
guy.
last
Hawaiian
name.
name.
So, yeah, it's Hawaiian.
But
Oh yeah.
local guy,
Okay.
never acted before. His
Wow.
dad is in the film with us, right?
Yeah,
Wow.
he's
And so
nice.
his dad comes to the set, come to our meeting, and he brings his kid. And we were just talking about looking for the type of kid. And his kid walks up, and everyone says, "That's the kid." That's the kid.
I'm actually the first one that kind of against it because like I did not see him in my head at that time.
You could envision him as.
Yeah, I
Everyone else
envisioned
though did.
him, but then everybody else
Everyone.
did. So I'm kind of like, oh okay, let's just see the audition, and then he walks in and he's the one. I mean, like when he did
Wow.
the audition, I was like, okay, okay.
The fact that his dad, is a big time actor. Curtis Duncan is one of the major actors in theater out here. And he's
Wow.
been acting out here for over 20 years
and film too. I
in
think.
film. So
So
Curtis
he's in
is
his blood then.
Yeah, he's very well known. He's very well known. So to have him and then his son, who hasn't done anything, to act and to be a part of the project, now the project becoming spiritual. And when you start looking at the project as how the spirits are aligning the project, we have to step back and start learning what the spirit is doing. Because our last shoot, we were at a house. They had popolo growing wild.
Yep,
Popolo,
actual
the plant, is growing wild in the area. And the guy
Wow.
that rents the house, he saw it. He found out it was a popolo plant. Two days later, he sees an ad on Craigslist for the movie Popolo's
Yeah,
looking
we're doing
for a house.
Scout looking.
That is talk about like the stars aligning, or planets aligning, I should
Oh yeah,
say.
there,
My
The
there-
whole
there's
project
a lot
is
of,
like
yeah,
that.
and
Wow.
the whole project is like that.
Everybody that comes on this project, it's this island is full of spiritual energy, man.
Sure.
This island is the ancestors talk to you on this island, and they control how things run on this island.
Sure.
On the mainland, you have so much concrete and you have so much man-made buildings, but here, this place is like how we met, and how the correlation between the friends that we have. It's all spiritual here. It's just like amazing.
You know, my first impression of you, I was very, very surprised. The reason why was because, okay, for those of you guys who are just listening or just tuning in right now, I went to the rap party with Sonny, and the first person I see is the star of the movie, and he turns around and looks at me and goes, "Wow, could have used you in the film." But you had that look, and like for me, it's like, wow, you're the lead. You're very modest, like, cause you know I've had the bad experience of working with individuals that had a really good position similar to yours, but they didn't show any modesty to it. It was like they were really arrogant and kind of gave you that vibe. It's like, okay, I think I'd work with you, but I don't know about being friends. I couldn't like share a meal with you. You know, I just don't feel comfortable. But you have that vibe, and you know, you're very, very friendly. And then I meet Edo not more than like 10 minutes after that.
Oh,
And
is
you
that
guys are
right?
like, yeah, yours are very, very, you're very embracing, very humble. Because I think that, you know, when you're basically the champion of the world. Once you wrap a movie and, you know, you don't know how it's going to end, you just know that you want to get it going. But to have this like project in your hand and still be able to remember that you're still a person at the end of the day and treat everybody normal, I think that is the secret to being successful
Bro,
in
look,
this business.
without the people, like I told Edo from the beginning, I said we have to serve the people. Our job is to give and give and give. Give people what they want. Give people what they want. If you want something, you have to give everything to get anything. You got to give everything to get everything.
Sure.
Everything. And so, and I've been in this business long enough, and plus I'm a brother, man. What am I supposed to do, walk around with airs when brothers are getting shot on the street? I'm no different from any other black man walking around. We have to learn how to start giving first and stop looking at people, you know, that take from people. If you start taking care of people and don't worry about it, and that's what we do on Popolo. Popolo is medicine. It's just looking out for people. And if we can do it as minorities, come on, we're holding everyone else in the rest of this world to that same standard. If the minorities can stand up and love and give, and come on, man, and we don't got shit. We don't have shit. So, and we give.
It gives a great example for everybody else.
Completely. Sure. If you can give where you come from, and you're broke, come on, man. And I'm sitting over here.
It's like, what's your excuse?
Yeah, I got $1 million and you got nothing, and you're still giving.
Ivy League school and everything, like what you're doing for the world.
Exactly.
You know, not to go too far off subject, but one thing I want to say is after I got a chance to watch the trailer, you know what was very interesting to me was that I started thinking about movies like Only the Strong and Bloodsport and like during that era, you know, when like martial artists were like ended up becoming stars and like then they were able to actually act and tell a real story. Man, outside I told you who I liked as the actors right now, but like honestly, it's very, very rare to see anyone outside of maybe Michael Jai White or Jackie Chan to do this kind of stuff, and it's nice to see another totally separate project, totally separate production come out here, and then on top of that, it's right where I'm from. So to me, it's like, wow.
A gift.
I was born here, like, and I got to be here to meet you guys and do everything. I feel like it's such a blessing to see this firsthand.
It's a gift to Hawaii, man. The people of Hawaii. Just walk around and look at the people of Hawaii. Just walk around. And if you can give something, come on, man. We win that way. Right. If I was in the hood, all of my films are shot in the neighborhood. Sure. The type of neighborhood I grew up in. Because when you come into the neighborhood and you show and you include the people just because I was young. And when people came into my neighborhood to do that and they showed love, I remembered that. I'm like, you know what? Just wait. I know what this feeling feels like. And he comes from a similar situation. Third world country, right?
Yeah, I'm from Indonesia. So when I moved to Hawaii, I'm not impressed in a sense of like, you know, because people always say, oh, the weather is nice, you know, the beach. But like I'm from Indonesia and it's an island country too. So and when I moved over here, I was like, yeah, this is actually kind of like my home. So you know, and
you felt a connection to it.
Yeah. So it's never a surprise to me. What I'm surprised about is actually because of I'm studying at State University. And that's where I got the idea of what Hawaii is. That's where first. So part of the story is actually inspired of like what my expectation about Hawaii. And then when I move in, and it was like, oh, okay, that's very different.
Completely
and
right.
Yeah, and I was, and that's when it started. I guess that's when we started writing. It begins with that idea of like, oh, okay, you know what? Let's show really what Hawaii is, not the perceptions of what people want to think about Hawaii, but like the real Hawaii.
Sure.
That's where we begin writing.
Listen, there's so many races here in Hawaii, right?
Oh, yeah.
Nationalities. How is it that they get along so well?
But yet the rest of the world is setting each other on fire.
Not even the world. Let's just say the U.S. Just the rest of the U.S. Because
you
this
mean
is
like Ferguson?
part of the U.S. Yeah, Ferguson, anywhere.
Yeah.
Why can't the people? And what I've noticed when I came here, this is a place where you can exploit that of how these people seem to get along and still remain in their own culture.
Yeah.
You have pure Japanese, pure Korean,
their
pure,
own
and then you have the mix, and then you have the mix right next to it, and then you have all these people in the same family. I'm mixed with Japanese, Chinese, and everyone's mixed.
Well,
and
it's chilling.
You can't beat that, man. And you walk around and you just start seeing the different mixtures in people's faces.
Yeah.
When you go to the mainland, it goes away because the mainland is still separated. This is a model state. This is a model state for racial diversity and unity, racial and religious. Dude, it's deep. It's deep. And unless you come here for an extended period, you got to be here at least past 2 weeks so you can start really seeing
exactly
what's going on. You can't come on vacation because you still got that vacation energy. But when you start really seeing the locals and how they interact with each other and how they respect each other,
right,
and respect each other, bro. If we had this on the mainland, there wouldn't be any shootings and stuff like that. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to promote that type of unity that Hawaii has, and we're trying to exploit it with just Hawaii talent. So if you interview anyone from our film, it's going to be Hawaiian, and they're going to talk to you about what's really going on. And then you get to learn Hawaii through our people just on our film.
You know, it's funny that you said that because there was an actor, one of the main actors for this film called Under the Blood Red Sun. It was a novel spun into a movie here. You probably heard of it, right? Okay, so Chris Tashima, he plays as the father of the main character, and he was sitting here and I was sitting in your seat, and I was telling him, I was like, you know, it's interesting. I asked him, "Is there anything you take here from Hawaii?" He's like, "Yeah, I feel like I take the aloha spirit, and I kind of carry it wherever I go. So like in reality, I'm almost carrying a little bit of Hawaii with me because of that was what's inside my heart. So I get that same energy off of you guys. It's like you're basically just sharing with what was given to you in a sense.
If we can shoot that out in a film to where people can see it and feel it, like what you said, the pigeon that they were using.
Mm-hmm.
When people see that, they're gonna be like,
Yeah.
dude, what? And everyone from any of these islands, all the Pacific, they will know. That's why the name is Popolo, because it's a dedication to the minorities from these islands. They know, and when they hear it, they're like, I can't believe that. That's got to be us. And then when they see it, they're like, that's us.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
and a genuine authenticity.
Oh,
about,
yeah.
About that too, because like, how does this? Because like sometimes you watch a movie and it's polished.
It gets
you know,
Hollywoodized
not-
too
yeah,
much.
It's,
Like
it's not,
even the
you-
funky looking people look pretty.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you would really look like that if you're
Yeah.
coming from this side of the world.
Yeah. And
Right.
again, like we consciously start from the beginning that it has to be authentic in a sense. You know, like
Our crew
how is
wouldn't.
this? Like
You want to
it's got to
avoid.
be believable. You know, like when you walk off, and I really love how Quantae described it at that time, is that when people walk off from the movie, hopefully they cannot tell the film and the reality.
Oh sure.
I mean, you know, not in a delusional way, guys.
But, like, you get, like, the most legit feeling,
You
yeah.
get the most legit feel. You're familiar about it when you walk, and you're like, I just saw somebody I know.
Sure.
You know, and that's.
Our locals that work on this film, like Christian, she read the script and she rewrote the pigeon. She goes, the Hawaiians don't talk like that. Now, she wasn't even working on us. I gave this young lady the script to read. She went home, read the script, and rewrote the dialect for the pigeon.
Restructured it. Okay.
Restructured it so it's
Wow.
pigeon. She goes, and this is how we talk here. I was like, good, okay, great, good. She checked us. Everyone that's on this film and they're local, they're like, man, we don't talk like that. This is how we do it, okay?
You know what's interesting? So let's just touch on that a little bit. You know the unity. Oh wait, you know what? We got to go to the top of the hour and we'll be right back.
Oh, we're almost done.
Woo! Gave me too much fun. We got a
This is
little bit
really
more
fast
time.
enough.
Huh? Okay, good. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, we're back on. That was fast. That was fast.
So you got all the way to 9:15.
Okay. Aloha, it's late nights. We're Young Han Hawaii, KPRP 650 AM. We're broadcasting statewide and we're live stream global on KPRP AM650.com. Okay, so Popolo Power Hour, we are talking about some dialect that was corrected in a script for the film. So, you know, I don't know if you guys know this, but pigeon, because we're talking about unity, right? The original the original invention of pigeon was really for the field workers, for the sugarcane workers, because we had Japanese, we had Chinese, and we had Filipino. So each culture had their own language, own respective dialect. So what the guy that basically ran, I can't remember the name. I don't want to say slave master, that'd be totally wrong. But the manager that basically took care of these guys would basically use simple words like, "Oh, you come here," or "You go there," because if you break down the translation from Japanese or Chinese, for example, into English, that's exactly what it is. When you hear
Really?
Yeah, when you hear page in English, in reality, it's just translated from another language, and that's why it's so simple. Why there's certain words that don't connect, because, as you know, like you could listen to a Japanese song and hear American words in it all day, because there's no actual word in that particular language. The English language is very descriptive that way. We're one of the, I think where that's what makes our language very, very specific, is that the way that we describe and use in our conversation, the vocabulary we use in our conversation is way more diverse than most other cultures.
All right.
So it's kind of interesting that when you're going on that.
I actually could relate that because like I'm bilingual, and one of the things that I realized, especially with Indonesia language, is when we don't recognize time tenses. We don't have past, we don't have present, we don't have future. The other differences, and I'm gonna touch on that, is that English is pretty specific because
Yes.
in Indonesia, everything is context based. Like I could literally just say I go, and then that's it. You know,
Right.
I did not specify where I am, whatever it is.
Right.
But as long as the context is established from the beginning, I could literally say that. So so since I understand that and we really believe in that, the thing is, like, we have the locals,
Right.
we have the Japanese, and then we have,
Sure.
you know, like, even like when we wrote it, like, hey, I don't know how a brother say his line. Here you go, Q.
I wrote all the black
Q
lines.
wrote it,
Alright.
and then like
You kept it American.
yeah,
I
and
got
then
you.
and then how like the Japanese saying it, like I told my actors, like, hey, if you can say it in Japanese language, you go
But
ahead.
structure it more
Yeah.
towards that
Yeah,
particular
well,
culture.
and because, like, you know, in a reality, like, if I'm talking with my mom, I'm not gonna talk in English with the Indonesian accent, you know, like, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
man.
talk Indonesia just like how
Right.
Indonesia did it.
Right.
But we also had two other writers, James Harbour and Mr. Richard Burnskill.
Yes.
They're from here, and they gave us the scenes of how people here are and how it should go.
Okay.
So as we wrote it, we let them read it, and then they say, guys, this can't work, and this
Yeah,
can't
Yeah,
work.
or like,
yeah, okay.
that doesn't make sense. That
Right.
doesn't happen over here.
Yeah,
Right,
so
right,
we're like,
right.
oh, so we had a lot of people that were local would read it and be like, no, this thing's not gonna work.
This
like
is how we say
This
this.
is how we do this. Not
Right.
necessarily say it, but this is how we do things
Right.
here. And then we talk like this.
Okay.
So that's
Alright.
why it looks so real and so authentic, because we had so many hands in the pot to help us with the whole process.
I was gonna ask about that because some productions can be very anal about people touching their dialogue, while others will be more flexible with this. I guess it really depends.
It depends
on
on
your
what you're trying to
preference.
say, and what we're
Right.
trying to say is, if we're representing the locals, we have to listen to the locals. We have to do it exactly the way they do it, but keep it in the context of the story and what we're trying to say. But we
Right.
have to give everyone the liberty to do their thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's magic.
Oh, it is. It really is. It really is. Because I think that you can't really fake authenticity in anything. Like, because people are smart. They're gonna be able to see that you didn't even believe it when
Okay.
you said it. So how could we believe it?
True that.
True.
And we have a lot of scenes like, I'm like, I was watching this scene, man, I don't buy that's it, we can't. Well, it does. I can see the emotion. See, so we have to go back and forth with, he'll cut a scene and I'll say, man, that doesn't look good. He goes, no, I like it because of this and it shows emotion. I'm like, at the end of the day, Edo has a final say so,
Sure.
because he's a director.
If you guys, I'm getting the drift that because you might have two different perspectives, you had to agree to disagree on a couple things.
No, it's no such thing. Is you stay in your lane.
All right.
And the director has final say.
The boss.
My final say is my say is when we're writing it, and my say is with my character's image.
Okay.
I have final say of my character's image, but the story,
So the big picture.
the big picture, this
goes
is
to
his
the
thing.
captain.
Yeah, I don't want to even cross that because it's not my idea. I want him to have his own idea so we can present his idea to the world with staying within my image of my character. That's it. And I let Edo do what he wants to do, man.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that.
How else we gonna get it done?
I got you. So, how many fight scenes can we expect in this? I mean, I'm not like people are gonna be kind of, oh my god, I thought Young Han said it was 5, it's really 3.
But
I doubt anyone's gonna be that.
Before you get into it, this is a love story. This is a story first,
Okay.
and so we don't really want to hype up this action. We want
It's
to
a
hype
story
up.
based,
There's a
story-driven.
It's a
movie.
story driven
All right.
with some action.
Okay, I
But
like
the
that.
trailer,
okay,
but the
okay.
trailer sees a lot of that kick-ass action.
Just boom, boom,
yeah.
boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is an amazing, deep story about love and compassion and people meeting strangers and accepting strangers.
Bring him into their family.
and bringing them, yeah,
Okay.
and showing how the
Tell
island
a
really
complete
treat people.
plan in a sense.
Sure.
Because again, like when we cast, and I told my actors, like, look, I miss the '90s action movie where
Amen to
Where-
that,
where-
brother. That's all you had to tell me.
yeah, because like right now not back not in this generation, but like I felt like
It's not the
nowadays
same.
action movies, you go for a fight for the sake of the fight. Like you go and watch an action film because you just want to see a fight. But like I grew up in a movie where, like the story driven the action,
It
so
had
that
heart.
when they actually start kicking ass, you as an audience like, yeah, kick their ass, like you
Right.
actually
I've been waiting for this.
yeah, you're like,
You killed so and so's
Yeah.
wife, so he's
And
gonna
the
get
end.
you. Just, yes.
And the bad guy and the bad guy in the lead, you want to see them fight because both of these guys look deadly, and sooner or later the two baddest guys on the bus. The modern day movies, you got Spider-Man, little bitty Spider-Man fighting a smaller guy. It's just like Batman. It's just like God, the villain doesn't even look threatening enough without his toys and trinkets.
He might even look kind of feminine
Yeah.
in certain films.
Yeah, man. Then you have to say, and this isn't real life. Oh, we're in a movie. We like to make a movie that is so real that when you leave the theater,
It's like, was that really a movie?
There you
or
go.
Was that a documentary?
or was that like my friends and family? Because I was in that situation. We
yeah,
want to
I
keep it
see that,
so
right,
real.
right. They can just see themselves in that exact
Oh yeah,
situation.
see themselves.
Wow.
And the movie never leaves you. The movie, if you're afraid of something, right, in real life, and we made a movie about it.
Right.
When the movie comes out and you leave the theater, whenever you see it in real life, you will always be afraid. You would never leave that fear. That fear would never go. You can say Jason and all these paranormals because that's not part of real life.
Right.
But put a real life fear on the screen, and then when you walk out of the theater, the minute you see it,
Because you know
you'll
it can happen. That's why.
Exactly. So you're gonna be.
It's as real as rain. You
Checkmate.
Know?
That's what we're trying to do. We're
Okay.
trying to bring that realism. When you
Alright.
leave the theater, you still got Popolo.
Yeah,
See-
but again, like we have to remember that this is, by the end of the day, this is all a love story, and I told my actors too about it. The emphasis about it. How to say this? It's a story of a man. He becomes complete when he comes to Hawaii. He was just this guy.
He finds the missing piece.
And then throughout the journey, he found his peace.
Sure.
And I felt like that is something, how to say this, it doesn't matter where you come from. It translates, you know.
Oh, sure, it's universal. Everybody wants
it's
that.
very universal in it.
Sure.
And again, like, I think in a sense that's also the Allah spirit, and that's why like everybody chip into it, because it's not something particularly that belonged to a certain group. Everybody could
Belongs to
actually chip
everybody.
in, and actually, like, yeah, I that's a value that I will take.
So here's a question I want to ask, because you're talking about the fact that it's a love story. You have a very, very beautiful co-star. She's amazing.
Oh.
How did you find her? How did that whole process? Walk us through it, because I seen her and like you two together. I was like, wow,
She's amazing.
it feels real. Like you two really were a couple. You know what I mean? And like that doesn't really sell on camera very often.
That was the hardest character to
Yeah,
cast,
that's
was
the
the
hardest
lead,
part.
the hardest. And when we saw her on a picture, she was at an award ceremony, and one of our other producers saw
Curtis.
her. Curtis, he saw her. He said, look at this. This is the one.
Curtis and
We were looking for her for 2 weeks. Who is this woman? And she
Yeah,
had
because
this
like she
red
doesn't,
outfit.
because like they don't know the name too. It's just like a woman in the red dress. That's the only code name that we have.
The woman
And,
in
then,
the red
and,
dress.
and I don't even see the picture. So like I literally go to the award pictures and like click it one by one
Trying to find
until I found like a woman in a red dress, and have like 4 or 5 women in the red
Yeah,
dress. And I'm
it
like,
is.
is this the guy? Is this the girl? Is this the lady? Is this the lady? And then I found
Wow.
one, and then kind of like, hey, anybody know who is she?
Right.
Anybody know this? Anybody know her? And then we found her name. Then we found someone that knew her name. And then we finally contacted her. And then we sat down and talked to her, and she was perfect. And we had already.
And she come in with that red dress.
And she came in with the red dress. Oh, dude, she was perfect. She was perfect. Opposed to the other women that we auditioned, there was a lot of great women, actresses that auditioned. But spiritually, they got busy.
Sure.
And then we didn't have anyone. That was the last one we cast, and she's a good actress.
She gave me that feeling. You remember the lead actress from Titanic? Her name
Oh,
escapes me
yeah.
right now. Like that real like, I'm willing to give it all up for this love, and like for this guy and nobody else. Like she has that. She gives that same quality. That's what I thought of actually when I was watching that scene. I was like, wow, I haven't felt like this in a long time about like any scene.
She's like that. She's a mother.
Oh, that's where it comes from.
Oh,
then. That's where that love
she's
comes from.
really, really like that in real life. She's really, really like passionate, very passionate woman.
Wow.
And it comes across. It came across when we first met her, and she read for us all right.
And again, this was, as you said, it's very hard to fake authenticity. So
Yo,
when
yeah.
we cast it from the beginning, we have to, like the
You have to
characters
believe
on
it.
the page, if it's similar with the actual.
It has to hop out
actors,
at you
Yeah,
when they
then
perform
we
What's
don't. Yeah, we
What's
don't
her
have
name?
to.
Here's the spirit part of it. What's her name? Her real name is
Oh.
May Nani.
May not.
Our two main characters.
Two lady-
Two lady characters. We only got 3 women in this film. 2 of them. One
It's
is called
May,
May, and the other one's called Nani.
What?
Yeah. That's
And
actually
her name
Wow.
is May Nani.
Nani. Yeah. I mean, she goes by
Wow.
Nani Morita, but
Nani Morita. May Nani Morita.
That's amazing.
Spiritual. Every scene
It
links
was like
up.
everything that happened was almost like a piece waiting to be fit. It was just the timing.
And it was all timing, and it all fit
Wow.
together, man.
Okay, here's one I want to ask you. So unfortunately, we're at the end of our show. I'm going to, when you guys do the release, you got to come back over here.
Oh,
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it big. So let's talk about social media. Where can we find you guys for? As you know, you got a bunch of young ladies that are watching this and they're in love. They just want to know people's phone numbers, but we don't want to give that out there just in case you have a special someone out there that might kill me.
Edo's single.
Okay. All right. Hey, put it out there.
You too.
Okay, so social media. If any of your fans want to follow you and see what you do next.
Give them the Facebook and your website.
Oh yeah, the Facebook is www.facebook.com/popolofilm. It's POPOLO film FILM. And then our production company website is www.matahari. It's MATAHARI. It's MATAHARI LLC.com.
Okay, and then for Mr. Love.
So that's it.
Oh, you guys share the social media together?
Yeah, but it's for Popolo?
Yeah,
Okay.
All of
it's
that.
for
Oh, it's all combined.
Popolo
Okay,
and
perfect.
all the production companies.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Bianca said you guys might be looking for sponsors. And
Yes.
stuff. So
yes.
if we're looking for sponsors, do we just go to that for your social media? Is that where we contact, or do you just have
You
to
should-
go to
Or
refer to
just
Bianca?
email, I
Or
guess.
Bianca, or give me your email, Edo.
Yeah, or just go to my email at edo.natasha, my last name NATASHA, @gmail.com.
Okay, right on, right on. All right, so if those of you guys want to follow me, you definitely got to check out my website because you will see this interview there. Go to www.younghanhawaii.com, YOUNGHANHAWAII, and also my social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Same thing, Young Han Hawaii. You will see photos, interviews, original music, all that good stuff. So I will be back from 10 o'clock. And make sure to tune in. Thank you for checking out Late Nights with Young Han Hawaii. Thank you, Edo and Quantae.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you.
Very much. I
All right.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Han.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for inviting me.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, man. Of course. So see you guys soon. Aloha.